Kia ora everyone, I'm Donnalouise and thanks so much for popping by my YouTube channel. I recently went on a little holiday up to Hamner Springs here in New Zealand and I brought this puzzle along with me to do, so it's not filmed in my usual setup. It's a 1,000 piece from Momibook. Now if you remember, I just got back not too long ago from China. I attended the Chinese National Jigsaw Puzzle Championships and Momibook collaborated with 3DJP to put on this national competition. 3DJP makes plastic jigsaw puzzles and Momibook make cardboard ones. I bought this 1,000 piece puzzle there from Momibook and it has a glow-in-the-dark effect. So I hope you really enjoy the time lapse, and afterwards we'll come back and I'll talk about some of the other puzzles I brought back from Momibook that appeared at the competition and my thoughts and ideas about this one. Enjoy! I am still on holidays. I have a puzzling day though. The light is maybe not the best, but I am set up next to a window to get as much sunlight as I can on this jigsaw puzzle. Hopefully the time lapse will be good, and with post-processing it'll all show up nicely. But here's a close-up of the box. First of all, I thought the box shape was going to annoy me, but the more I have it, the less it annoys me and the more I really like it, because, well, I'll show you in a minute, it's big enough just to fit all the pieces. So 1,000 pieces, Momibook, jigsaw puzzle. What do you think about puzzles that don't show the full image? Is that a disadvantage in marketing? Now, if I look at the image, I think, oh, this is beautiful, I love it, great. On the side though, you see the full image right here. The pieces are slightly bigger. It's 75 centimeters by 50 centimeters. So in one direction, the pieces are slight bigger. This one's called Fireworks Are Gorgeous. And definitely it's in French and Japanese, German, Spanish, Cantonese, I think, and it just says, what's interesting, it says luminous, it glows in the dark. They call it luminous simulation effect. Just for references only. Do you think it'll glow that much? It'll be interesting to see. I will definitely grab out a bigger light and put the entire puzzle under light. But it looks like it has a glow-in-the-dark effect like throughout the entire image. What else is on the box? Nothing on the back, just more general information on every language. On the side here also has a full image of the puzzle. And again, just more information. So, opening the box, the first thing, of course, I was like, oh, not a full image. I hope there's a puzzle. Well, yes, there is a puzzle. But if you look, there's not that much extra space in there. There's the 1,000 pieces. It does come in a plastic bag that's not reusable. Would like, as you know, to change that. But here you go. Here's the poster. And you know what? That's a good size poster for 1,000 pieces. I'm happy with that. I love the image. Does it accurately reflect what's on the box? I feel it does. I feel, it shows only part of it, but I was surprised because I didn't realize that that wasn't the full image. I thought it was a panorama. I thought it was a panorama puzzle, but no, there you go. So I have a poster, so I'm happy about that. Now, I have this bookmark in here, but to tell you the truth, I got so many goodies in China that I don't know where I got this bookmark from. It's a Merry Christmas. Copyright, it was a comic strip, 1972. Interesting, interesting. So that, I think, is just something extra I picked up along the way somewhere. So let's just see. Let's look at these pieces, because first of all, there's writing on the back. I'll try to open this bag nicely so I can, oh, this is some good plastic. Oh, I'll try to reuse the bag. So let's just dump out the pieces here. I've done a few Momibook puzzles, so I'm familiar with them. I know they have a variety of piece cuts, and they have a variety of piece sizes too. They do make smaller and bigger pieces. And if this is similar to the other Momibook puzzle that I've done, there should be 1 or 2 whimsy pieces. At the competition, it threw me off, but now that I know about it, hopefully it won't throw me off. So first of all, the pieces do feel slightly larger, and yes, they have a texture to them, which some people may not like, but that's because it's the glow-in-the-dark effect. I can tell you the other Momibook puzzles I've done do not have that texture on them. I did expect that though. Now, it has these markings on the back. Ooh, and some writing, some larger writing, some smaller writing, some lines. Oh, yeah, what's that? So I'm very curious, to be honest with you. If I sort the pieces by what's on the back, so I grab, like, say, all the border, all the lines, all the Momibooks, all the stuff with more blue and writing, will it actually, like, be sorted well? So I think I'm going to do something I've not done before. I'm going to sort based on what's on the back of the pieces. I know that might drive you crazy, but for the time lapse, it's only a few minutes. Look, there's a 3-prong piece, a 2-prong adjacent piece. So you can see them, I'll just flip them over. What else do we have? A standard 2-prong piece, a 1-prong piece. I'm pretty sure they have all the typical pieces. Oh, look, this piece doesn't even have anything at all on the back. Ooh, interesting. Oh, and then look, I can just kind of pick and place. Oh, that piece goes right over there, right on the edge. I love doing that. I love finding a piece and figuring out exactly where it goes. So yeah, I am going to do something different. I'm going to sort based on what's on the back of the puzzle pieces. I just want to see if it's a good sort, like if it really helps, or if it's a waste of time, if it's boring or not. But the pieces are definitely just slightly bigger. I hope it fits on my table. It should. It's about 5 centimeters, maybe that much, in one direction. Oh, I can't wait to do this. And I wonder if it'll have the little whimsy piece. I'll definitely try to pull that out. And hopefully I'm getting some good sunlight because I want to see how well this glows in the dark, but I'll also shine a brighter light on it. Well, there you go. Tell me, what do you think of manufacturers not including a full image on the box? Is that a disadvantage when it comes to marketing? And what do you think of glow-in-the-dark puzzles? Do you like the texture on them, yes or no? And what do you think about puzzles that have writing on the back of the pieces to maybe help sorting? Are you a fan of that, yes or no? So many questions. But for now, let's just get cracking right into it. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to do this. Well, definitely sorting based on just a couple of things on the back of the pieces was a lot quicker. Was it helpful? I honestly don't know at this point. So basically, here are all the ones that have the word Momibook on them. And I think the words will go in the right direction. So that'll give me a direction for this piece. So if I was puzzling right side up here, I would know, see, Momibook goes that way. I would know this piece goes this way. It can't go this way. It can't go that way. It can't go this way. So in a way that is very helpful because I know the direction, at least of every piece that has the word Momibook written on it. I found these two. I managed to connect them. It's at the start of the word. There's a lot of white here. And when I flip them over, I can see approximately where that goes. And on my puzzle, I believe, gosh, where would that be? Somewhere in here. I think it goes right next to this tower, right about there. Yeah. Yeah, it goes right there. I wish I was just faster at puzzling, speed puzzling, but you see how quickly I figured out that goes there? So yeah, so having the words on the back will definitely help in the sense that it gives me a direction. This piece has to go that way. It looks like the ones with the words are all in the sky, perhaps. So if we just grab a bunch and kind of play with them, yeah, I think that's all the fireworks. And you know what? For the fireworks, I can see that being very helpful because the fireworks could go in multiple directions. So looking at this piece, I mean, it could be the fireworks are falling down or they're shooting up. They could be going out the side. Yeah, this could go in multiple ways. Now looking at it, I know this piece goes like that. Well, there you go. So it is a trickier image. It is a trickier puzzle. So therefore, this could come in very, very handy. I have no idea, but look, one minute I'm like, oh, look how fast I can find pieces. And the next minute I'm like, where does this go? 10 minutes later. I have no idea where this piece goes. It's brown, some blue. Oh, wow. So it looks like all the ones with the word Momibook so far that I can tell are in the sky. The border pieces are over here and they have a variety of lines and words. These are ones that have the word Momibook as well as some lines written. They got, let's see, there's some mostly fireworks and some buildings, kind of perhaps the transition line. Maybe some transitions, but looks like mostly fireworks and a couple of buildings. So these pieces have Momibook and the lines. These are all line pieces, just completely lines. And I'm willing to bet, yeah, it's mostly the buildings, looking at them now. The thing is, with the buildings, looking at the building, like I can tell this goes like that. And the lines, ooh, the lines go up and down. So, are there going to be some that the lines go sideways? Oh, maybe the lines go all up and down. See, that's interesting. Well, what I did here is I picked out these pieces. They had something different. Oh, the darker blue, and this is the Momibook logo. So that, I'm assuming, is going to be somewhere in the center of the puzzle. So I put that together upside down, and if we look here on the box, yeah, it's approximately the center of the puzzle right there. So that tells me the lines are down here, and the lines go this way. The Momibook is up here, the Momibook goes that way. Will there be lines or words on this side, and which direction will they go? So that'll be interesting. And I did find the little whimsy pieces. So at the competition, these pieces threw me off. Now that I know about them, I love them and I think it's so cute. So first of all, there's the M for Momibook. And I like how they kind of made the M because the piece that connects underneath it almost looks like cat ears at the top. So that goes like that. And then to fit next to the M, there needs to be two more wonky donkey pieces. So these do not completely connect. And I'm glad that there's only a few of them, because I think that's a cute thing to add. I know that it's going to appear in their Jigsaw puzzles. It's a fun thing to find. It's not a whole bunch of them. I love like one or two like whimsy pieces. So the M for the Momibook and the little kitty cat ears, and I understand how the other two. When I was at the competition, I thought that was a false edge and I was very confused, but now it makes sense. If we flip these over, okay, these lines all go like that. And this would be part, it looks like it's part of a coffee shop, a pink coffee shop. Let's just put that together. Let's see if we can find it. I'm gonna have to pull out my whole, yeah. So that goes over here in that part. These pieces right here have lines, but also some white. So it'll be interesting to see how it transitions from the word Momibook to the lines, and if all the lines are vertical or if some are horizontal. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to build the border, and then I'll probably do the buildings first. And I'll do the buildings trying to like, just look at the pieces. Oh, but look, that's lines and it's got fireworks. Oh, and there is, of course, at the bottom here, the water, which will be tricky. So let's do the border. We'll move some pieces off. Let's do the border. We'll put that into position. We'll build the buildings. And what's nice is I think I'll be able to flip this puzzle easily enough. The pieces are quite sturdy. Let me flip that over. They're a good thickness, quite sturdy. Not the thickest we've seen, but not too thin. Paper backing. It's that style that sometimes can be a bit sticky. That's why the puzzle holds together so well. Some people like that, some people don't. It depends with me. If there's a lot of false fits, it'll drive me crazy. So hopefully we don't have a lot of false fits. If there's not a lot of false fits, because I think the sky will be tricky, then it won't bother me. So I'll come back and talk about that. Now, I looked this up. Glow-in-the-dark 500-piece Ravensburger from their Starline series. Right now in New Zealand, I can buy for 40 New Zealand dollars. For complete transparency, $39.95. I bought this one in China from Momibook, doing at today's conversion rate, $36.06 New Zealand, 1,000 pieces. So for me, this is a very affordable jigsaw puzzle. 1,000 pieces, $36 New Zealand, yeah. And a glow-in-the-dark one with a beautiful image with a poster. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. So what I will be interested to know is whether or not I really use the lettering or not. If I find it handy, I think I'll find it handy in the fireworks. Maybe not so much in the buildings because the buildings are busy. And whether or not I find the pieces to be too sticky. I just find overall puzzles that have paper backing, they tend to be just stickier. The pieces get stuck to one another more easily. What are your thoughts on that? Leave your comments below. Well, I hope, again, I'm still out in my natural sunlight, not a lot of light here. I can't wait to see. I hope it glows in the dark really well. But you can tell it's hard to see, and I bet you I won't be able to get any good photos to show you, but there is a lot of glow-in-the-dark texture on this puzzle. A lot. Oh, I hope it glows well. If it glows, oh, I'm going to be so happy. So I'm just going to keep plugging along and having a good time here. I'm really enjoying this jigsaw puzzle. Fireworks are low-explosive pyrotechnic devices used for aesthetic and entertaining purposes. They are most commonly used in fireworks displays or shows, combining a large number of devices in an outdoor setting. Such displays are the focal point of many cultural and religious celebrations. Now, apologies, I know I'm going to mispronounce a lot of names and words in this next part. I'll do my best. The earliest fireworks came from China during the Song Dynasty, 960 to 1279. Fireworks were used to accompany many festivities. In China, pyrotechnicians were respected for their knowledge of complex techniques in creating fireworks and mounting fireworks displays. During the Han Dynasty, 202 BC to 220 AD, people threw bamboo stems into a fire to produce an explosion with a loud sound. In later times, gunpowder packed into small containers was used to mimic the sounds of burning bamboo. Exploding bamboo stems and gunpowder firecrackers were interchangeably known as baozu or bao gun. During the Song Dynasty, people manufactured the first firecrackers, comprising tubes made from rolled sheets of paper containing gunpowder and a fuse. They also strung these firecrackers together into large clusters known as bian, which literally translates, I believe, to whip, or bian pao, whip cannon. So the firecrackers could be set off one by one in close sequence. By the 12th and possibly the 11th century, the term baozang was used to specifically refer to gunpowder firecrackers. During the Song Dynasty, common folk could purchase fireworks, such as firecrackers, from market vendors. Grand displays of fireworks were also known to be held. In 1110, according to the Dreams of the Glories of the Eastern Capital, a memoir written by Meng Yanlao, a large fireworks display mounted by the military was held to entertain Emperor Huizong of Song. Now, it has been stated and recorded that a rocket-propelled firework called a dilaoshu, or literally translating maybe to earth rat, went off near the Empress Dowager Gongsheng and startled her during a feast held in her honor by her son, Emperor Lizong of Song. This type of firework was one of the earliest examples of rocket propulsion. Around 1280, a Syrian named Hassan al-Ramah wrote of rockets, fireworks, and other incendiaries using terms that suggested he derived his knowledge from Chinese sources, such as his references to fireworks as Chinese flowers. Colored fireworks were developed from Chinese applications of chemical substances to create colored smoke and fire, possibly during the Han Dynasty or soon thereafter. Now, such applications appear in written form like in the 14th century that describes recipes, several of which use low nitrate gunpowder to create military signal smoke and various colors. For example, later on in like 1828, two formulas appear for firework-like signals, the Shangjiangju and Beizanglian, that produces silver sparkles in the smoke. Then in like 1753, there are several recipes recorded with low nitrate gunpowder and other chemical substances to tint flames and smoke. These included, for instance, like arsenical sulfide for yellow, copper acetate, verdigris for green, lead carbonate for lilac white, and mercurous chloride or calomel for white. I'm thinking that's not very healthy, but that's just me. It just doesn't sound very safe. The Chinese pyrotechnics were described by the French author Antoine Caillot in 1818. It is certain that the variety of colors which the Chinese have the secret of giving to flame is the greatest mystery of their fireworks. Similarly, the English geographer Sir John Burroughs, circa 1797, wrote, "The diversity of colors indeed with which the Chinese have the secret of clothing fire seems to be the chief merit of their pyrotechny." Fireworks were produced in Europe by the 14th century, becoming popular by the 17th. Les Ismailov, ambassador of Peter the Great, once reported from China, "They make such fireworks that no one in Europe has ever seen." In 1758, the Jesuit missionary Pierre-Nicolas Le Chéron d'Incarville, living in Beijing, wrote about the methods and composition of Chinese fireworks to the Paris Academy of Sciences, which published the account 5 years later. Amédée François Fraisier published his revised work Traité des feux d'artifice pour le spectacle. In English, they translate it to Treatise on Fireworks. This was in 1747, originally in 1706, covering the recreational and ceremonial uses of fireworks, rather than their military uses. Music for the royal fireworks was composed by George Frederick Handel in 1749 to celebrate the peace treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle, which had been declared the previous year. Berthollet in 1786 discovered that oxidations and potassium chlorate resulted in a violet emission. Subsequent developments revealed that oxidations with the chlorates of barium, strontium, copper, and sodium result in intense emissions of bright colors. The isolation of metallic magnesium and aluminum marked another breakthrough, as these metals burn with an intense silvery light. So that was a little history of fireworks and their composition. Now fireworks take on many forms, and they produce 4 primary effects: noise, light, smoke, and floating materials. Think of like confetti in the sky. They may be designed to burn with colored flames and sparkles, and some popular colors are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and silver. They are generally classified by where they perform. So for example, there's like ground fireworks or aerial fireworks. With the aerial ones, they may have their own propulsion, like a skyrocket, or they might be shot into the air by a mortar, like an aerial shell. Most fireworks now consist of paper or pasteboard tube or some casing filled with the combustible material, often pyrotechnic stars. A number of these tubes or cases may be combined so as to make it, when they are kindled, a great variety of sparkling shapes and various colors appears in the sky. A skyrocket is a common form of firework, although the first skyrockets were used in warfare. The aerial shell, however, is the backbone of today's commercial aerial display, with a smaller version made for consumer use. In 2019, China exported approximately $797 million worth of fireworks. China remains the largest manufacturer and exporter of fireworks in the world. Let's talk about the puzzles that I brought back that were used at the competition. First of all, you'll notice that they do stay together very, very well. But on the back of these puzzles, no writing whatsoever. So in the competition, they use puzzles without any markings on the back of the pieces. Were they specifically made for the competition? I don't know. Do all their puzzles have markings on the back of them? I'm not sure, to be honest. This one has the whimsy piece of the M, similarly to what I showed you in this jigsaw puzzle. But this puzzle right here, I believe this one was specifically designed for the competition. And the reason why I say that is it does have kind of like the little M piece here with the little kind of ears that go together and fit nicely. But the reason why I think it was specifically designed for the competition, it has a little Pudgy, the little raccoon logo from 3DJP. And I don't think this would be a standard whimsy piece for them to include. So I have a feeling that this one right here was specifically designed for the competition. I don't have that confirmed, that's just my guess, because it has a little Pudgy whimsy piece. And I did not see that in this one over here. This one's 500 pieces and this one's 300 pieces. As you can see, they stay together very, very well. That's because of the kind of paper backing that they have. I do find these styles of jigsaw puzzle tend to stick together a lot better. It can be a bit frustrating to take them apart. It takes longer. But these puzzles were all so busy, I didn't encounter false fits. I could see if you had like a repeat pattern or solid color area and you were trying a piece over and over again, it could damage the pieces. They could get stuck because these pieces tend to stick together more. As you saw in the time lapse, I sorted using the markings on the back of the jigsaw puzzle. It was fun. My first and only time I've ever done that I can remember anyway. It was definitely useful in the sky portion where the fireworks were, because that's where they had the Momibook specifically written, and you could tell the definite direction each piece went. And of course, fireworks kind of can go in all direction. So I will admit I used the wording quite a bit to get started. And then afterwards, as I had more pieces filled in, I didn't use it so much. The buildings at the bottom, that was easy enough to do without the line marking on the back. I like that there's an option. If you want to use the markings on the back, you can. If you don't want to use them, you don't have to. But it definitely helps for a more difficult puzzle. So the fireworks would have taken me a lot longer if I hadn't used the wording. I took several photos of this jigsaw puzzle assembled in various glow-in-the-dark states. So let's look at those photos and I'll explain to you what each one depicts. So it was very difficult to try to capture on camera and to convey how the glow-in-the-dark effect appears to the naked eye. It pretty much glowed like the entire image glowed a nice kind of yellowish greeny color. But to have like a specific kind of fireworks pop out, I had to do editing. And that's because, as I said, there was basically a texture of glow-in-the-dark texture all over the Jigsaw puzzle. They could easily make the same puzzle and just focus on, say, the building outlines and the fireworks, and that would, you know, make those specific items pop out. It does say, though, on this box that it has a luminous simulation effect. It definitely does. The whole thing kind of illuminates. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. It's one of those things like, have you heard about the northern or southern lights where people go see them and they're like, oh, they don't look like the photographs. And of course, with the camera, you can alter like the filters and the exposure. So often those photographs look quite a bit different than what it looks like to the naked eye. So perhaps this is the same thing. However, of all the glow-in-the-dark puzzles I've done, this one glowed the best. I loved it. I loved the image. I tried to replicate as best as I could how it looked to me, and I think I'm going to redo the puzzle. I've taken it all apart, and I might redo it, frame it, and put it up on the wall. I think it would be cool to have it glow in the dark in the evenings. So a few questions for you all. Do you enjoy glow-in-the-dark jigsaw puzzles, and have you seen some that glow better than others? What are your thoughts on puzzles that include one or two little whimsy pieces? I mean, it did surprise me in competition, this first one, because I wasn't expecting it. But now that I know, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's kind of lots of fun, especially that they made the little Padgy, and I have Padgy right there, whimsy piece for this competition puzzle. I think that was lots of fun. So do you enjoy puzzles that have one or two like surprise whimsy pieces? What are your thoughts on puzzles that are the paper backing that kind of, you know, stick together a lot better? There's pros and cons to that because, I mean, look, I can do almost anything with this puzzle. It's not falling apart. So when you're assembling it, pieces you can move around and they don't fall apart. And that's really, really nice. In fact, I probably should have just brought this one home assembled. I could have done that easily. They are trickier to disassemble. I'm definitely keeping this one in my permanent collection because that's one special, and I'll probably sell this one or trade it or donate it onwards. So I am going to have to take it apart. And to tell you the truth, I mean, it's kind of like part of puzzling is disassembling the puzzle. And maybe if I just take my time, it will come apart easily enough, but you have to take your time so that you don't peel the pieces or bend any of the prongs. And so I'll just sit there one evening or one day and I'll just disassemble it. It just takes a bit longer. I hope to do more Momibook jigsaw puzzles in the future. I'm hoping to go back to China, maybe this year, 2025, to the national competition. If you haven't seen those videos, I'll leave links to them in the description below. Goodness, this was lots of fun. I really enjoyed this jigsaw puzzle. Absolutely, like really, really enjoyed it. Last question for you all. Do you like puzzles that have markings on the back? Does it distract you? Would you prefer them not have it? Or you don't care otherwise, meaning that if you want to use them, great. If you don't want to use them, great. So leave your comments below. And thank you so much for watching. You know, I really appreciate every single one of you being here. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. I'll get cracking on my next puzzle in my next video. And until then, ciao!